What's up, guys? It's me Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Duke Micah versus John Riel Casimero, which will be a 12-rounder for the WBO Bantamweight World Championship. And this fight will be Saturday, September 26th, from the Mohegan Sun Casino in Uncasville, Connecticut, on the Jermall Charlo vs. Sergey Derevyanchenko undercard. And just before I get into both fighters, I have to say that for this Micah versus Casimero fight, I am not going to be making a fight review, as there is so many fights next week and so many fights that are better than this fight. But I did say this in my prediction video for Alameda versus Neri, that I will be making prediction videos on almost all the title fights on the Charlo versus Derevyanchenko card. And to get into the challenger, Duke Micah, he's undefeated, 24-0, with 19 big wins by knockout. He's ranked number 42 by BoxRec. And he only has a couple good wins. He has a win versus Equo Wilson by knockout both times. He did rematch Wilson. He fought him first when he was 14-0, rematched him when he was 15-1, won both times by knockout. He has a split decision win versus Matthew Chanda for the Commonwealth World title in Great Britain. And he also has a split decision, a majority win versus Thomas Snow and Jose Santos Gonzalez. And that's really it for Micah's resume. As I gotta say, his resume isn't that bad for a contender. Maybe if he had a little less wins, I could understand why he's fighting so many guys with not great resumes. He's fighting out of Ghana. Most of his fights are in his home country of Ghana or in Africa. He had a couple of fights in the United States, like in his last fight versus Ruben Valenzuela. He won via unanimous decision. And he did get dropped in that fight, and that was in the Barclays Center. And he did, as I said before, versus Matthew Chanda, he won via split decision in the UK. And to get into his opponent, John Riel Casimero has a record of 29-4 with 20 knockouts. Don't let that record fool you. He is so experienced. He's had multiple title fights. I believe it's 4-time world champion. He's been a champion in the light flyweight division, and the super flyweight division, and now a champion in the bantamweight division. So about a 4-weight world champion he is. He challenged for the world title many times. And he's just a great fighter, in my opinion. He's ranked number 3 by BoxRec, and there's a difference there. Micah ranked number 42, and his opponent, Casimero, ranked number 3. And just to dive into his resume, he has a split decision loss to Ramon Garcia for the WBO light flyweight world title. And he also has a loss by TKO to Maruti Mithlani for the IBF flyweight world title. He has a win versus Luis Alberto Lazarte in the flyweight division. He also has a split decision win versus Pedro Gueva for the interim IBF world title. That's where he did win that world title. That's his first world title win. I know it's an interim title, but later he will pick up the full title. He also has a title defense versus Luis Alberto Rios by unanimous decision, a TKO win in a title defense versus Felipe Salguero, and he also fought Mauricio Fiertas. He did miss weight in that fight, meaning the title was only on the line for Fiertas, and he did win that fight by first-round knockout. But then he came back and lost by unanimous decision to Manuat Renrong. Sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. But he did move up to the full flyweight division. He did lose that fight by unanimous decision to the IBF world champion, but then rematched Renrong right after and won via knockout in the first round to pick up the IBF flyweight world title. Then after that, which is arguably one of his best wins, he took on Charlie Edwards and won by knockout in the 10th round to secure a title defense of his IBF world title. Then he challenged Jonas Sultan, losing, yes, he did lose this fight in the Philippines by unanimous decision. Very big upset. Sultan was only like 13-3, and Casimero was the hometown favorite, and it was just surprising. But Casimero did move up to the bantamweight division, picking up the WBO interim world title after that loss to Sultan when he knocked out Ricardo Franco. And then he did make an interim title defense versus Cesar Ramirez, which is another title defense, and he won that fight by knockout. Then most recently, he knocked out Zolani Tete, who was the full WBO Bantamweight World Champion, and that secures his 4-weight World Championship reign. And I gotta say, he's so experienced. He's had I believe, almost 15 world title fights. He's had so many title fights. He's fought some of the best guys in the light flyweight division, bantamweight division, and super flyweight division. And I'm predicting that he will possibly knock out Micah, as Micah really hasn't fought anybody of the caliber that Casimero has, let alone gone the distance in a 12-rounder. As most of Micah's fights were, as I said before, in Ghana against lower-level opponents, except his fight versus Matthew Chanda, which is probably his best win. But I am predicting, as I said before, Casimero to win this fight, possibly by mid-round knockout, maybe in the 5th round or 6th round. As he only has 20 knockouts and 29 wins, that might seem like a lot, but compared to Micah's knockout percentage with almost 20 knockouts and 24 fights, but he's just fought so much better guys, has a Casimero, and he's knocked out so many undefeated guys just like Micah. Like he knocked out Amat Renrong in the rematch after moving up in weight. And he's knocked out so many other guys, like Charlie Edwards, who was undefeated. He knocked out Ricardo Franco, who was the interim world champion, knocked out Zolani Tete, who he was the underdog in that fight. I mean, he's just put on so many shows. He's just an excellent fighter, and I'm predicting him to make the first defense of his WBO Bantamweight world title against Duke Micah. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.